नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हाजिर हूं आपके सामने अपने बजट सीरीज के दूसरे वीडियो को लेके, जिसमें मैं आपको बताने जा रहा हूं कि हमारी इंडस्ट्री क्या चाहती है निर्मला सीतारमण जी से, जो कि हमारी फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर हैं। और कल सुबह जब वो अपना बजट प्रेजेंट करेंगी तो इंडस्ट्री की क्या खासियत है। मैंने आपके लिए एक कोलाज इसलिए बनाया है इंडस्ट्री का, सो दैट आपको ये पता लग सके कि मेरे अनुसार क्या होने वाला है। निर्मला सीतारमण जी सो उम्मीदें इंडस्ट्री कितनी है कि हर इंडस्ट्री कुछ ना कुछ चाहिए उसको, चाहे वो डिफेंस की हो, चाहे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो, चाहे ईवी हो, ऑटो हो, टूरिज्म हो, एजुकेशन। बिकॉज 2 साल कोविड के कारण काफी इंडस्ट्रीज पिटी हुई हैं, एंड इंडस्ट्री हैज गॉट के शेप्ड growth where the large cap were able to enjoy the benefits given by the government by way of the easy loans, easy money was available. But the MSME sector, whose books of account were already read, they were not able to enjoy that. So that particular segment will be looking the with FM's speech very minutely, and then ultimately if these some of these are being fulfilled, then this will go up. So today I have not prepared the PPT in detail, so I will be just sharing with you face to face. I will be discussing. I will not be taking up too much the data between you and me, and I will just be doing it. See, we all know that this is a poll time. 5 states are under poll. So, in my opinion, government may give a populist budget. There will be the perks to the rural economy because the elections in UP, where the Western UP government feels it is against them due to the Kisan agitation. Then fiscal deficit target is 6.8 can be there. So ultimately, I feel that the government or the Nirmala Sitharaman ji's, it will be very difficult for her to save the things, and there will be the problems for her, and it will be difficult because एक उर्दू में शेर है कि हर ख्वाहिशें इतनी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे आप कदम निकले, लेकिन साहब कितनी ख्वाहिशें पूरी होती हैं कल, that will be the question mark. So when I'm talking about the budget, so I will only say that the government is going to do a lot of homework and going to do a lot of mathematics tools need to applied. On the drawing book, they have to put up the things here and there. There are clearing roadblocks to do the bonds in international market. The government has to see that. The FM is likely to consider a waiver of capital gain on bond transaction so that the foreign bond companies can come to India and they can invest into our market. So the government can have, and the market can have the money in the debt market, or government if wants to come out with an LIC IPO of which can generate around 80,000 to 90,000 crore rupees, which will be a big boost for the government's kitty. So that money government can use for giving some perks. Government has already successfully dealt with the Air India auction, and government would like to disinvest its stake in BPCL, IDBI, Concord, BML, SCI. So there are the roadblocks when you talk about the government. Then when the government, I have already talked in the previous, that individuals like you and me demands standard deduction, so which the government may be able to do it double, if not double, at least 75,000 from existing 50,000. Because there is an election in UP and other places, Punjab, so where agri economy is there, so government can hand over the benefits under the Manrega scheme, PM Kisan, fertilizer subsidy, which will be a big boost to the rural economy, but will not be liked by the market as such. Income tax schemes, income tax slab can be changed by the government. However, the stock market will particularly looking for the removal of STT or LTCG, because when in 2004 STT securities transaction tax was imposed, the purpose was that the government has abolished the LTCG then. But now we are having the LTCG at 10% along with STT also. So government is under pressure from the investors to put or remove either of the two. So most positively, if the LTCG is removed, it is going to give a big boost to the stock market, and you will see that Nifty will be 18,000 by the end of the day. So the call option of the Nifty will be very high if government do it, and the huge returns, windfall gains can be there. Similarly, ATC scheme ceiling can be 2.5 lakh or 2 lakh from 1.5 lakh, government can do it. This will enhance the insurance companies' sales. ATD will ensure that more medical premium are there, and then our corporate sector and the insurance company can take advantage of it. Now, from the individual, if I come to the automobile sector, which is one of the largest job provider of the textile industry in India, and during this pandemic, it has done well, but still it is huge pressure. So semiconductor problem is there for this sector. It is PLI link, EVs are there. So Union Cabinet will be required to work for this particular sector, and this particular sector will like to have a reduction in the EV vehicle, not only the vehicle, but it also of the component, because then only they can have the advantage of it. This Automobile Association very recently said that the GST should be brought down from the 28% so that the manufacturer can have the help of that and their growth can be there. Then NHAI funding, execution of the allocation of authority will be there, and government should give more money to this. In FY21, infrastructure activities were accounted for 13% of the total FDI inflows of 81.72%. So this sector wants the government that the more money should be given to this particular sector. So national infrastructure pipeline, which is already in place now, this particular require at least 1,000 lakh crore rupees, so that this, however, out of that 100 crore multi-modal plan is already asked by the government. Now comes on the banking sector. The banking industry, which is considered as the backbone of an economy, has suffered a lot of heat due to the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, some bad books, NPAs are there. So they expect from the government that banking industry should be given some leverage in this regard, especially the small and medium PSU banks. However, the government give more concessions, in my opinion, for digitalization of the banks, and so that the cost of the banks can be reduced. It is also required that the tax benefit to the insurance sector shall be given. NBFC and housing finance company need the GST taxation, and 2% tax deduction at source shall also be done away with. And they will also like that there should be a single window refinance for the refinance of NBFC shall be done. Oil and gas sector will require the government to reduce the taxation and provide more facilities under the Ujjwala Yojana, which is the well-celebrated scheme of the government. So they want that some benefits to be given to the ONGC and other companies in this particular regard. with the FMCG sector companies are looking for subdued demand and rising inflation, investment in development and skill upgradation and the MSME's development. So they said that if the tax can be reduced on cigarettes, however, I feel that this is highly unacceptable by the government, but this is going to be a good that if these companies can be given the low taxation, so that will help them. And real estate, they want that not only the GST on sale should reduce, but the material of raw material should also be reduced, because the housing infrastructure companies require the fund when they are in process of construction, not after that, because once you reduce it, then the more people will start buying it. Once they start buying it, automatically these projects will start getting funded. तो रियल एस्टेट को अगर आप टैक्सेस कम कर दें और ongoing projects सेल होते हैं उनके, so that will sort out their problem. So this particular sector will give boost to this demand, and this is certainly going to increase the job opportunities in this sector. Then this particular sector also want, जो कि मैंने पिछले अपने individuals वाले में बताया था, that they want that this 2 lakh rupees loan which you want giving on section 24B for income tax on the insurance paid to the interest paid on the loan, housing loan. So that must be increased to 3 lakhs so that at least affordable housing people can take advantage of that. Because अगर आप अभी को देखें तो उनको कोई फायदा नहीं होता, because वो पूरा उसका नहीं ले पाते हैं फायदा. And textile is already PLI linked, but that must be given at least a tax benefit, because during the last 3-4 years this particular sector has seen a lot beating. So mega investment textile park government which has started, so custom duty on custom cotton should be 0, and the raw silk and yarn 15% to 10%, so that this sector can see a growth rate. In agriculture sector, government, the public bonds that industry, incentive to encourage the domestic capacity for immediate and active ingredient, and also anticipate support for the export of these products. Then the Crop Care Federation of India has recently said that they want that imported technicals should be a 10% taxed, and ready-made formulation should be 10% from 30%. Then ports and shipping, this particular heavy industry already having the Bharatmala project and road logistics sectors. So they require that if the government does not increase its allocation to these plants, then it will be difficult to complete it. So budgetary support, they require it. So more money should be given. Now, the health care sector, जो कि कोविड से लड़ने में बहुत मदद की सेक्टर ने. So disease eradication program, देखिए why it is required. समझिए, हमने 5 साल बड़ी अच्छी ग्रोथ की, say 8%, but उसके बाद all of a sudden COVID type some other disease comes. For 2 years we are on halt. Then जितनी भी ग्रोथ आपने उस पीरियड की वो 0 आ जाएगी. So if you and these diseases are now going to stay, तो आपकी health facilities has to be there. So the government has to put a lot of efforts on the pharma sector, and the pharma sector wants that the rollback of export incentive under the MEIS scheme by enhancing the tax incentive on R&D, reduction of GST on life-saving drugs, extension of exemption on certain other goods shall be given, so that this shall be able to take an advantage. And in the healthcare sector under 80D, exemption should be done 25,000 to 1.5 lakh rupees, so that a family can have that. And now the health hotel sector, during the COVID, hotel has seen almost on shutdown. They need a budget, especially the small hotels, 3-star up to. They required a huge tax benefits, tax reduction, and I will say rather they require the tax holiday. But the tax holiday government may not be able to do, at least they can defer it. Chemical sector requires from the government that high import duty on the key raw material shall be reduced, and because that will be enhancing the domestic capacity to use it and import it further. That is going to solve the purpose for us. And these are the few sector-wise recommendation I will say. I also see that the startups, these startups need to be given more bonus, and this bonus should come in the form of technology and the guidance also. Because if India cannot have the unicorns, then it will be very difficult for the India to grow. Then I will say that the EV industry, which is need of funding electric vehicles. So friends, Tata Motors will be one of the key stock, although they have suffered losses in the last quarter. But I hope if government does anything on the EV, then they will be major beneficiary of that. So government can play a major role by bringing into the priority sector lending, and by financially supporting startup in this sector also, and like Ether, etc. So GST and battery pack should be aligned with GST and EV, because both are different. So overall tax go high cost, and then they are not able to use it. So if the government want that India to be a 5 trillion economy, then the government has to focus on the job requirement, and the job can come from those industry like the textile, auto, chemical, etc. So these and the electronic companies, because aapko pata hi hai ki semiconductors and the chips were having a problem. So government has to give concessions and more GST and the tax benefit to this particular sector, so that these can be grown, produced in India, and that is going to help the Indian industries a lot. Then I will say that whatever these professionals in India, they are also in a need of giving the benefits. Small and medium enterprises during the last 2 years have been hit most. Tourism industry, they require a tax holiday. And I also say that government should look up to these industries so that they can grow over a period of time. This also means that if government can work for those people who are in SME, because SME is that particular segment of our economy which is generating the economy. So SME landing need to be accelerated, and succeed has to be there. Otherwise it will be difficult, because the government makes the laws, but they are not being policies, they are not being benefiting to the small and medium enterprises. Large companies, they have got good books. Once good books, they are able to get the money. But then the next sector is aviation sector. Aviation sector was almost on the halt during the last year. So I hope that government should, Airport Authority of India should be operationalized. That several projects are lying under the PPP model. So government has to put at least a 20,000 crore rupee money for that expansion. Government can go away with MAT and tax exemption for this particular sector, so that we can connect the India with the air. In many cities which are not connected today with the air and does not have the facilities. So then government is also, I hope, to give the benefits to the leather industry, which is having a, and then the government has to put up the demand has to increase. So the more money and the financing facilities should be there for the industry people, for the consumers, so that these industries can grow over a period of time. Technological companies has to get a compensation in this particular regard. So thank you, doston. I feel that I have covered major sector. There may not be all the sectors has not been covered, and but that is what I feel, that the government should be focusing more on the benefits of the growing the economy. So rural areas में focus रहने वाला है, EV में रहेगा, aviation sector को मुझे लगता है कि सरकार help करना चाहेगी. Then government will be giving it to the skill development, and then government may be giving for the textile sector. Government का focus भी रहा है पिछले कुछ दिनों में. Government would like to work with the sectors like transport industry, logistics. Government will work for the highways. So and IT. One more thing, I feel that government may go for the something on this gaming industry, because that is a profit making, and government may try to tab it. So if it has a 5% GST, then you may have a good growth in this particular sector and that more recognized. Thank you, दोस्तों. So let us see what the budget comes. निर्मला जी कितनी हमारी और आपकी जो requirements हैं उनको कितना पूरा करती हैं, so वो कल देखने को मिलेगा. Thank you. Pick few stocks in the morning which may be in focus, which I feel that Tata Power shall be there. Tomorrow in L&T can be there in market. Kajaria, because if anything is being done for the housing sector, Kajaria will be one of the player. GHCL will be there. SBI and HDFC Bank. If the banking sector is being given, Belaspan and the other textile sector stocks will be there in the fray tomorrow. So Tata Motors will be there. So please take care of these stocks. Have a track. If you're convinced, buy it and take the advantage of the budget. Thank you, dosto. Thank you very much. Have a good day and have a good budget. Although kitna acha budget hoga, that will depend on the Nirmala ma'am only, not on us. We can all keep our finger crossed. Thank you very much.